All right, let's talk about two of the biggest, most misunderstood words out there, freedom and destiny. We usually think of them as being on opposite teams, constantly fighting for control over our lives. But what if I told you they're not enemies? What if they're actually partners? And what if understanding that relationship is the absolute key to living a truly meaningful life? Let's dive in.
So let me just start with a question for you. It sounds simple, but stick with me. Are you truly free? Now, your first instinct might be to say, of course I am. You think about all the choices you make every single day. But as we're about to discover, real, genuine freedom might be something way deeper and honestly a little weirder than you might think. So here's our game plan. First, we're going to completely redefine what freedom even is. Then we'll look at the two different kinds of freedom. After that, we'll tackle its so-called opposite, destiny. We'll get into the paradox that actually connects them, see how it all works in a real-life case study, and then we'll bring it all home to you and your life.
Okay, first things first. What is true freedom, really? Most of us think it's just about being able to do whatever we want, right? Having unlimited options. But there was this brilliant existential psychologist, Rollo, and he had a much more profound take on it.
I know. That sounds like a total contradiction. How can freedom be about knowing you're determined? It sounds like the opposite of free. But here's the twist. By determined, May doesn't mean your fate is sealed. He means having the self-awareness and the courage to look at the givens of your life, all the things you can't change, and acknowledge them. True freedom, he argues, starts when you face reality head-on, not when you try to pretend it doesn't exist.
Now, to really get this, it helps to understand that freedom isn't just one single thing. May actually breaks it down into two totally different but equally important forms. There's the freedom of doing, and then there's the freedom of being.
Okay, so on one side, you've got what he calls existential freedom. This is the one we all know. It's the freedom of action. It's choosing where you work, who you date, what you buy at the store. It's all about your external choices. But then, on the other side, you have essential freedom. This is your inner freedom. This is the radical power to choose your attitude, your response to whatever happens to you, no matter what your external circumstances are.
And this is where it really clicks. Think about this powerful and extreme example. In situations where people's external existential freedom is almost completely gone, like in prisons or concentration camps, some people discover this unbelievably profound sense of inner essential freedom. It's incredible, right? It just goes to show that having all the choices in the world doesn't guarantee you'll feel free. Sometimes it's the very limits we face that force us to find the freedom that truly matters.
All right, so you can't really talk about freedom without talking about its dance partner, destiny. And just like with freedom, I want you to just toss out the old definition. Destiny is not some pre-written script that you're just a puppet in. It's not fate.
Now, that sounds pretty poetic, doesn't it? But what it actually means is very concrete. For May, destiny is simply the givens of your life. It's the unique hand of cards you were dealt. It's the raw material that you, and only you, have to work with. It's not your doom, it's your starting point.
So what are we talking about here? What's in that hand you were dealt? Well, it's everything. It's the ultimate destiny we all share, the fact that we will die. It's our biology, our genes, our gender, our natural talents. It's our psychology, the things that happened to us in our childhood that shaped us, and it's the cultural and historical moment we happen to be born into. These are the facts of our life. They're non-negotiable.
And this right here is where it all comes together in this beautiful kind of mind-bending paradox. Freedom and destiny are not enemies. They are not at war. They are two sides of the very same coin. In fact, they can't exist without each other. They need each other. I mean, think about it for a second. What if you had absolute, limitless freedom? No constraints, no context, no givens at all. What would you even do? Your choices would have no meaning. It would just be chaos, right? A kind of unruly license that doesn't actually lead anywhere. Destiny gives us the structure, the canvas, that our freedom needs to create something meaningful.
And yeah, it works the other way too. What's the point of your unique set of circumstances, your destiny, if you have zero ability to respond to it? It's just a pile of inert facts. It's our freedom, our ability to choose our stance toward those facts that gives our destiny any significance at all.
So here it is. This is the core of it. Just let this sink in for a moment. Freedom gets its energy, its vitality, from the limits of destiny. And destiny gets its meaning, its significance, from the choices of freedom. They literally create each other.
Okay, I get it. This might all be feeling a little abstract, a little philosophical, so let's make this real. Let's look at a case study from Rollo's actual therapy practice. He tells the story of a patient he called Philip, and this really shows us how this whole dynamic plays out in a person's life.
So meet Philip. On the outside, he's a successful architect, but his personal life? A total mess. He feels completely trapped, totally powerless in his relationships. And here's his problem in a nutshell. He was refusing to confront his destiny. Specifically, he was running from his difficult childhood and his relationship with his mother.
You can literally watch Philip move through these stages. He started out by denying his destiny, just blaming his past for all his current problems, which, of course, left him feeling totally stuck. Then, through therapy, he moved to step 2, confronting his destiny. He started to see how his past was influencing him. But the real turning point was step 3, challenging it. He didn't change the past, but he changed his perception of it, his attitude towards it. And the result? Step 4, gaining freedom. By finally working with his destiny instead of fighting it, he unlocked his essential freedom. He could finally be himself and break those old, painful patterns. And look, Philip's story isn't just some interesting case study from a psychology book. It's a mirror for all of us. This is what brings this entire idea back to you, and to me, and to the choices we face every single day.
At the end of the day, it all comes down to this one powerful truth. You cannot change the cards you were dealt. You can't go back and erase your past, you can't change your genetics, but you hold the absolute, undeniable power to choose how you will respond to those things. Right there, that is where your true freedom is found.
So, let's wrap this up. What should you take away from all this? First, remember that real freedom isn't about having no limits, it's about courageously knowing what your limits are. Second, the most powerful freedom you have is almost always internal, that freedom of being. Third, think of your destiny not as a life sentence, but as your unique starting line. And finally, and maybe most importantly, the more you turn and face your destiny, the more freedom you will find. So I'll leave you with this final thought. Your unique collection of givens, your strengths, your wounds, your history, your talents, that entire package is your destiny speaking to you. It's asking you a question. The only thing that matters is, how will you choose to answer?